Ryan Cole was a simple man who liked simple jobs. He did not chase big missions or dangerous risks. He only wanted enough money to keep traveling between planets, fixing small machines and living a quiet life. So when an agent at the Nova port offered him a job to escort 2 alien twins to their homeworld, Ryan accepted without thinking too much. It sounded easy, too easy. The sun was setting on the glass roof of the port when Ryan waited near Dock 12. He checked the contract again. It said only one thing: escort twins to the planet Alindra, no questions. Ryan did not care about the details. It was a short trip, good pay, and no trouble. At least he thought so. Then the door opened, and the twins walked in. They were small, maybe 10 or 11 years old, with silver hair and bright glowing eyes. Their skin looked like moonlight. Their names were Lyra and Kio. They moved quietly and stayed close to each other. They studied Ryan like they already knew him. But Ryan had never seen them before in his life. "Are you our protector?" Lyra asked in a soft voice. Ryan frowned. "Protector?" "No, I am just your escort." The twins looked at each other. As if his answer proved something important, Kio whispered. "He does not know yet." Ryan did not understand, but he felt a cold shiver run down his spine. They boarded the small transport ship. The moment the doors closed, Ryan felt something strange. The lights flickered, the air became heavy, and the twins suddenly grabbed his arms. Their grip was strong, stronger than any normal child. "Ryan," Lyra said, her voice shaking. "Someone is coming to kill us." Ryan's heart jumped. "What? Who?" Kio pointed at the window. "Them." 3 dark ships appeared out of the shadows. They had no lights, no symbols, no numbers. They moved like hunters following prey. Ryan had seen ships like these only once before. They belonged to a group known as the Shadow Collectors. They kidnapped rare alien children and sold them to the highest bidder. But why would they chase these twins? Ryan quickly sat in the pilot chair, starting the engines. "This is bad," he muttered. Lyra squeezed his shoulder. "Please, trust us. We have no one else." Ryan hesitated. He did not even know who they were. But the fear in their eyes was real. "Fine," he said. "Hold on." He launched the ship into the sky. The engines roared. Blue flames spread behind the transport. But the dark ships followed close. Every second they came nearer, Ryan pushed the ship to its limits. "What do they want from you?" he asked. The twins stayed silent for a moment. Then Kio said quietly, "Because of what we can do." Ryan turned his head. "What can you do?" Lyra shook her head. "It will awaken soon, but we cannot control it without you." Ryan blinked. "Without me? I don't even know you." Lyra's eyes softened. "We know you, Ryan Cole. We have known you since the day we were born." Ryan felt his breath stop. How is that possible? But before he could ask more, an explosion shook the ship. The hunters had fired. Warning lights flashed everywhere. The control screen screamed. "Impact, damage, hull breach." Ryan gritted his teeth. He flew the ship into a narrow asteroid field, hoping to lose the enemies. The twins stayed calm, as if they expected this. Lyra pressed her hand on the wall. A soft blue light spread under her palm. The ship's shields grew stronger. Ryan stared at her in shock. "You can control our shields?" She nodded. A little. Ryan realized this mission was not simple. These children were not normal, and the hunters would not stop. Kio leaned close and whispered, "Ryan, you were not hired to escort us." Ryan frowned. "Then why am I here?" Kio's glowing eyes met his. "Because you are the one who will protect us from the thing that comes next." Ryan felt confused, angry, and scared all at once. "What thing?" he asked. Lyra answered softly, "The darkness that wants to eat the stars." Ryan stared at them. This was far bigger than an escort job, far bigger than anything he had ever faced. He tightened his grip on the controls. Outside, the hunters were still chasing them inside. The twins watched Ryan like he was the center of their future. In that moment, Ryan understood one thing: he was no longer just an escort. He was stepping into a fate he never asked for. A fate the twins believed only he could carry, and the real danger had only begun. Ryan Cole pushed the ship deeper into the asteroid field. The dark rocks floated in every direction. Spinning slowly in the cold vacuum, it was dangerous to fly through them. But staying in open space was even more dangerous. The hunters were faster, stronger, and armed with weapons Ryan's small transport could not match. The twins sat behind him, quiet but alert. Their glowing eyes followed every movement on the radar screen. They seemed afraid, but at the same time strangely calm, as if they expected this chase from the beginning. Ryan checked the rear camera. The 3 shadow collector ships were still behind them, slipping between asteroids with unnatural skill. "Impossible," Ryan whispered. "They fly like machines." "Not humans. They are not humans," Lyra said softly. Ryan turned to her. "What do you mean?" "They are hunters rebuilt with metal hearts and empty minds," Kio explained. "They are made only for chasing children like us." Ryan felt a cold chill move across his skin. "What do they want with you two?" The twins looked at each other. Kio finally answered. "We are Starborn," Ryan blinked. "Starborn? I have never heard of that." Lyra took a deep breath. "Starborn twins are very rare. We are born with a special connection to ancient energy. We can sense danger, unlock old machines, and sometimes change things." Ryan frowned. "Change things? Like what?" "Like the shield we fixed in part 1, she said quietly. Ryan remembered the blue light under her palm. "So the hunters want your power," Ryan said. "They want to sell us," Kio replied. "To people who want control over the galaxy." Ryan tightened his jaw. He hated people who hurt children. He hated people who used others as tools even more. But he still did not understand why the twins kept saying he was special. "Why do you think I can protect you?" Ryan asked. Kio walked closer, placing his hand on Ryan's shoulder. "Because the ancient stars chose you," he said simply. Ryan almost laughed. "The stars chose me? I am a mechanic, not a hero." But then the radar beeped loudly. "Impact incoming," the ship warned. Ryan jerked the controls to the left. An asteroid the size of a building scraped past the hull. The hunters fired again, bright red beams cutting through the darkness. One beam struck an asteroid behind Ryan's ship, exploding it into a cloud of burning dust. "We cannot stay here," Lyra said. "The hunters will catch up." "I know," Ryan said. "But I can't jump to hyperspace inside an asteroid field. We'll die instantly." The twins exchanged looks again. "We will guide you," Kio said. Ryan sighed. "Guide me? How?" "Listen to our voices," Lyra whispered. "We can see the path." Ryan opened his mouth to argue, but he saw something strange. The twins' eyes were glowing brighter than before, almost white. Lyra pointed at the screen. "Left now." Ryan turned left. "Up now," she said next. Ryan followed, to his shock. Every move she asked for led them through the safest open space between asteroids. The hunters continued firing, but their shots hit rocks instead of Ryan's ship. "How are you doing this?" he asked, amazed. "We do not know the future," Kio said, "but we can feel danger like a warm wind." Ryan kept following their instructions, slowly guiding the transport toward the edge of the asteroid field. He could feel his heart racing. His hands were shaking. He had flown through dangerous fields before, but never like this. The ship rattled and shook with every close pass. But they were still alive. Then Lyra suddenly gasped. "Stop," she said. Ryan froze. "Stop here?" "Yes," she whispered. "If you move now, we die." The hunters flew closer, their engines glowing red. Ryan stared at the twins. "What do we do then?" "Wait," Kio said. "Something is coming." Ryan looked around, confused. "Something? What something?" Before anyone could answer, A giant shadow blocked the stars behind them. A massive cargo hauler, almost a floating city, entered the asteroid field. Its size shook smaller rocks off their path. Ryan's eyes widened. If we hide behind it? He began. Yes, Lyra said. Now move. Ryan used the hauler's massive body as cover. Slipping underneath it, the hunters fired. But the beams hit the hauler instead. The hauler's alarm system screamed through space. Good, Kao said. Now full speed, Ryan pushed the engines to maximum power. The ship shot out of the asteroid field like a bullet, once they cleared the last rock. Ryan activated the jump drive. Hold on, he said. A bright white tunnel opened in front of them, and the ship leaped forward faster than light, leaving the hunters behind. The ship finally stabilized inside hyperspace. The engines hummed softly. Ryan leaned back in his seat. Exhausted. We are safe, he said. No, Lyra whispered, her voice low and filled with fear. Ryan turned slowly. Her eyes glowed like stars. They are not the only ones hunting us. The room suddenly felt colder. Ryan knew Part 1 was only the beginning, and Part 2 had opened a door to something far more terrifying. Ryan Cole sat in the pilot's seat, breathing slowly. His hands were still shaking from the escape. The ship hummed softly as they moved through hyperspace. A long blue tunnel stretched outside the windows, endless and quiet, but the silence inside the ship felt heavy. It was the kind of silence that hides a truth too big to ignore. Lyra and Kao sat across from him. Their glowing eyes were dim now, tired from guiding the ship through the asteroid field. But there was something else in their faces, a sadness Ryan didn't understand. He finally broke the silence. All right. You two need to tell me everything. The twins looked up. You said they are not the only ones hunting you, Ryan said. Who else wants you? Kao's fingers shook as he touched the edge of the table. The galaxy fears what we are, he whispered. Ryan raised an eyebrow. Because you're Starborn? The twins nodded slowly. Lyra took a deep breath and began. There is an old story, older than all modern planets, before humans, before the great alien kingdoms, before the age of ships. Ryan leaned forward, listening carefully. Every 10,000 years, Lyra said, 2 children are born with the energy of ancient stars inside them. They are called Starborn twins. They are the only ones who can speak with the universe's old power. Ryan frowned. Old power? Kao nodded. The power that created the first light, the first stars, and the first protectors. Ryan rubbed his forehead. I'm just a normal human mechanic, he said. Why are you telling this story to me? Lyra stood and walked closer. Because the protector cannot exist without the Starborn twins. Ryan blinked. And we cannot survive without our protector, Kao added. Ryan stared at them, not sure he understood. Wait, he said slowly. Are you trying to tell me that I'm supposed to be your protector? The twins didn't speak, but their silence said everything. Ryan let out a frustrated sigh. You have the wrong human, he said. I'm not special. I don't have powers. I don't even know how to fight. Lyra gave a small sad smile. Protectors are not chosen for their strength, she whispered. They are chosen for their heart. Ryan looked away. Confused. I'm no hero, he said quietly. But you will become one, Kao replied. Because you must. Ryan felt a sharp twist in his chest. This was too much, too strange, too impossible. But the twins continued, their voices soft and calm, like they were telling him something that had already happened in another lifetime. Long ago, Kao said, the ancient protectors fought against a great darkness called the Null. Ryan's eyes narrowed. Null? What is that? Lyra answered in a whisper. A being made of emptiness, a creature that eats stars. It sleeps for thousands of years and wakes only when the Starborn twins appear. Ryan felt his heart drop. So you're saying, because you two were born, this thing is awake now? Yes, Lyra said. It will come for us. It always comes for us. Ryan swallowed hard. And you think I'm supposed to stop it? Not alone, KIO said. We will fight with you. The Protector and the Starborn fight together. That is how it has always been. Ryan stood up. Pacing back and forth. This is insane, he muttered. I'm not some chosen warrior. But then Lyra gently touched his arm. When we were born, she whispered. We saw your face. Ryan stopped moving. You saw me? How? KIO's voice was soft. Starborn can see a small piece of their future protector on the day they are born. We saw your eyes, your hands, and the moment you would choose us. Ryan felt his knees weaken. But I didn't choose you, he argued. The twin smiled sadly. You did when you took our job, Lyra said. You did when you fought the hunters for us, KIO added. And you will choose us again, Lyra whispered. When the null arrives, Ryan shook his head. You're talking about destiny like it's a road with only one direction, KIO nodded. For protectors, it is. Ryan sat down again. Defeated, this null thing. How strong is it? Lyra's face turned pale. It eats suns, she said. It turns galaxies dark, KIO added. And it is looking for us. Ryan looked out at the hyperspace tunnel, feeling very small. Why him? Why not someone stronger? Why not someone who understood the universe better? Before he could speak again, the ship's alarm suddenly beeped. Ryan jumped up, checking the screen. His eyes widened in fear. Something is pulling us out of hyperspace, he said. That is impossible, KIO whispered. Only very old machines can do that. Lyra closed her eyes. It has begun, she whispered. The ancient calling has found us. Ryan felt the ship shake violently. Whatever waited outside hyperspace was not human. Not alien and not friendly, and the moment they dropped out of the jump, Ryan understood. Part 3 was only a doorway, and the real nightmare was waiting on the other side, ready to meet him. The ship dropped out of hyperspace with a violent shake. Ryan grabbed the controls, steadying the transport as alarms flashed red across the dashboard. Lyra and KIO held onto the chairs, their glowing eyes wide with fear. What pulled us out? Ryan shouted over the noise. KIO pointed at the front window. That, he whispered, voice shaking. Ryan turned his head and froze. In front of the ship floated a giant metal ring. Silent and ancient, the ring was broken in places, covered in glowing symbols that shifted like living light. It looked older than anything Ryan had ever seen. Older than any ship, older than any war, Lyra whispered. This is an ancient gate, Ryan frowned. Ancient what? It is a machine from the first age of the universe, KIO explained. Only Starborn can awaken it. Ryan gulped. Are you saying this thing woke up because of you too? Lyra nodded slowly. It sensed our power. It wants to test our protector. Ryan blinked. Test me? Why me again? KIO answered. Because the protector must survive the trial of stars. Ryan stared at him. Trial? What trial? Before anyone could explain, a bright light shot out from the metal ring. The beam wrapped around Ryan's ship like chains made of pure energy. The engines stalled, the lights flickered, and the entire ship went silent. Lyra gasped. It is beginning. Ryan tried to restart the engines. Nothing responded. He hit the controls again and again. Still nothing. The ship was being dragged slowly toward the glowing ring. Is this thing trying to kill us? Ryan shouted. No, KIO whispered. It is trying to judge you. Ryan felt his chest tighten. Judge him? For what? He had never asked for this. He did not want a destiny, a title, or a fate. He only wanted to finish a simple job, but the universe had different plans. The ship moved into the center of the ring. Everything outside turned bright white, as if the stars themselves were burning. The ship then vanished from real space. Everything went silent. Everything went still. Everything became another world. Ryan found himself standing in a huge empty space. The floor, the walls, the ceiling, everything looked like dark glass filled with stars. Lyra and Kao were beside him, holding his hands. "What is this place?" Ryan asked. "The trial realm," Lyra said. "Only protectors can stand here." A deep voice echoed through the space. "Human." "Step forward." Ryan froze. He looked around. No figure, no person, no creature. Just darkness and stars. Kao pushed Ryan gently. "You must face it." Ryan took a step, then another. The voice returned. "Protectors are chosen by heart, not strength. Show your heart." Human. Suddenly the dark floor beneath Ryan began to ripple like water. A shape rose from it. A creature made of pure shadow. Tall, thin, with long claws and glowing white eyes. Ryan stiffened. "What is that thing?" "A fearborn," Lyra whispered. "It is the shape of your own fear." The shadow creature opened its mouth, letting out a horrible sound, half scream, half growl. Ryan stepped back, his heart pounded. He had fought many troubles in his life, but never a creature made from his own fears. The shadow lunged at him. Ryan jumped aside, his feet sliding on the starry floor. The creature's claws cut through the air where Ryan had been standing, leaving glowing trails. Ryan ran, but the shadow chased him with impossible speed. Lyra shouted, "You cannot run from your fear." "Ryan," Kao added, "you must face it." But Ryan wasn't ready. His breath grew short, his legs shook, he felt small, powerless. The shadow caught him by the arm and threw him across the floor. Ryan crashed hard, pain exploding across his ribs. The shadow walked toward him slowly, its glowing eyes locked onto his heart. Ryan tried to crawl back. The twins held each other, afraid. They could not help him inside the trial. The voice echoed again. "Rise!" "Protector." Ryan felt tears in his eyes. "I'm not a protector," he whispered. "I'm just a man." But the twins' voices reached him. "Ryan, we believe in you. We have always believed in you." Ryan looked up. The shadow raised its claws for the final strike. And something changed in Ryan's eyes. His fear did not disappear. But something stronger pushed through, a promise to protect the twins. A promise he didn't understand but felt deep in his soul. Ryan stood. The shadow attacked. Ryan stepped forward instead of back. He grabbed the creature's arm. Light exploded from his hands. Shocking the creature, the twins gasped. "You awakened the protector's light," Lyra whispered. The shadow screeched, dissolving into dust made of stars. The room went silent again. The deep voice spoke. "You faced your fear, human. You may walk the path of the protector." The white light returned. Covering the room, the ship reappeared. The dashboard lit up again. The engines hummed softly. Ryan sat in the pilot's seat, breathless. Lyra and Kao grabbed his hands. "You passed," Kao whispered. "The first test," Lyra added softly. Ryan closed his eyes. If this was only the first test, what horrors waited next? The ship shook gently as it left the glow of the ancient gate behind. Ryan sat in the pilot's seat, still trying to calm his heartbeat. Even though the trial was over, he felt the Fearborn's claws still pressed against his ribs. The memory was too fresh, too heavy, but the twins. They looked at him with new eyes now, eyes full of quiet hope. Eyes that believed he was something more than he believed himself to be. "Ryan," Lyra whispered, "you passed the first test," Kao added. "Now the real journey begins," Ryan sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. "I still don't feel like a protector," he said. "You will," the twins said together, using that strange harmony that made their voices sound older than their bodies. The ship's console beeped softly. "Planet Alindra detected." Ryan looked out the window. A huge planet came into view, glowing blue and silver like a frozen jewel. Its sky shimmered with soft white clouds and bright patches of floating crystal islands. It looked peaceful, beautiful, almost magical. "Home," Lyra whispered. tears rising in her eyes, Ko smiled softly. We did not think we would see it again. Ryan brought the ship closer to the atmosphere. But as they entered the airspace, dozens of golden drones surrounded the transport. Their lights blinked red, signaling a warning. Ryan raised his hands in confusion. What now? A robotic voice echoed through the comms. Unregistered human pilot. Disable your engines and prepare for capture. Ryan blinked. Capture? For what? I just brought kids home. Before he could argue, 2 large patrol ships locked tractor beams onto Ryan's ship, pulling it toward a landing platform made of white stone and shining energy lines. Lyra and Ko whispered together, fear creeping into their voices. They think humans are dangerous, Ko said. They think humans bring trouble, Lyra added. Ryan raised an eyebrow. Why? Humans helped your world before? The twins lowered their heads. No, Lyra whispered. Humans nearly destroyed it. Ryan's heart sank. So this was what he was flying into, a world that hated his kind. Perfect. The transport landed softly on the stone platform. Dozens of armored guards surrounded them. Their armor shimmered like liquid silver, their faces hidden behind glowing helmets. One guard stepped forward. His voice was cold. Human. Step outside. Ryan glanced at the twins. Will they take you too? Lyra nodded sadly. Yes, but they will question you first. Ryan stepped out with his hands raised. 4 guards grabbed his arms immediately. Hey, easy. Ryan protested. They ignored him, dragging him across the platform toward a tall building with crystal pillars that reached the clouds. The twins were escorted behind him, but the guards treated them like fragile glass, bowing slightly as they passed inside the building. The air was cool and bright. Blue flames floated without fire at the walls, glowing softly. Ryan was pushed into a huge room with a circular table made of silver stone. Around it sat 12 tall figures with glowing robes. The High Council, the rulers of Alindra, the protectors of old star knowledge, and the most feared judges in their sector of the galaxy. One council member spoke. His voice was calm but sharp like a blade. Human. You brought the Starborn twins back to us. Ryan nodded. Yes. They hired me. Silence, the counselor snapped. Ryan clenched his jaw. He hated being treated like a criminal. He had risked his life for these kids. Another counselor spoke. You have traveled with the twins. You have faced danger with them. You have entered an ancient gate. Ryan blinked. How do you know that? The counselor replied, because the stars told us. Ryan started to answer. But Lyra suddenly ran forward. Please, she shouted. Ryan is not guilty. He protected us. Ko stepped beside her. He passed the first trial. He is the chosen protector. A cold silence filled the room. The council members turned their glowing eyes toward Ryan. Their hands twitched above the table. Their robes fluttered like they were touched by wind. Then the eldest counselor stood. Her voice was ancient and heavy. Human. Do you understand what this means? Ryan shook his head. No, I don't understand anything. The elder raised her hand. A star map appeared in the air. A huge shadow moved across it, slowly covering entire galaxies. The elder whispered. The null has awakened. The room grew colder. The twins froze, holding each other tightly. Ryan felt a deep fear he could not explain. What? What is that thing? He whispered. A destroyer, the elder replied. A devourer of stars. A creature that returns only when the Starborn twins appear. Ryan swallowed hard. And what does this have to do with me? The elder looked directly into his eyes. You human are the last protector in the universe? Ryan's heart pounded loudly in his ears. The council chamber suddenly felt too small, too bright, too sharp, he whispered. I didn't choose this, the elder answered slowly. No protector ever does. Ryan stood silently as the truth settled into his bones. He had passed the first test. He had been judged by ancient power. He had been chosen by the twins, And now, the fate of an entire galaxy hung on his shoulders. But before he could speak again, an alarm echoed through the building. A message flashed in glowing red. Warning, unknown force entering orbit. The Elder's eyes widened. It is already here. Ryan turned toward the window, fear gripping his heart. The null had arrived. The alarm continued to echo through the council hall. Its deep sound vibrated in the walls like a heartbeat of fear. Ryan Cole stood frozen, staring at the huge window. The sky above Olindra had changed. It was no longer bright blue and silver. Now it looked bruised, dark, and heavy. Clouds twisted in circles, forming a giant spiral of shadows. The elders whispered among themselves in panic. The null should not be this close. It is too soon. The prophecy said we had time. Ryan swallowed hard. He felt something cold sliding down his spine. This was not a hunter, not a ship, not a creature with bones. This was a cosmic force. A living emptiness. A hunger older than any galaxy. Lyra squeezed his hand. Ryan. We must go to the chamber, Kio added, before the null reaches us. Ryan frowned. What chamber? What is going on? The elder counselor pointed at a door made from swirling crystal. The Chamber of Stars, she said. The place where all protectors awaken. Ryan blinked in disbelief. I'm not awakened. I'm not trained. I'm not. The elder cut him off. You faced your fear and lived. That is more than the last 12 protectors managed. That doesn't make me ready, Ryan argued. But another elder stepped forward. You do not need readiness, human, he said. You need courage. Ryan opened his mouth to protest, but the entire building shook violently. A low roar echoed through the sky, a sound that felt like a star dying. The null was coming closer. Guards rushed inside. Council. The null's shadow has reached the outer towers. Shields are failing. We must evacuate. Panic rippled through the room, but the twins did not move. Their glowing eyes stared at Ryan with trust that felt almost painful. Ryan, Kio said softly. Come. We don't have time, Lyra whispered. They pulled him toward the crystal door. Ryan felt like he was walking toward a destiny he never asked for. He wanted to run away, hide, disappear, but the twins' small hands held him in place. Guiding him forward, the door opened by itself. A warm light spilled out. The chamber inside was round and empty, except for a single pedestal in the center. Stars, real stars, floated in the air like tiny suns trapped in slow motion. A soft hum filled the room. A hum that sounded like a heartbeat. What is this? Ryan whispered. The core of the protectors, Lyra said. Your true path begins here, Kio added. Ryan walked closer to the pedestal. On top of it rested a glowing sphere. Swirling with silver and blue light, it pulsed gently. Like it was breathing. Ryan frowned. And what am I supposed to do? Touch it, Lyra said. Let it see your heart. Ryan hesitated. His hand trembled. He had seen enough tests for one lifetime. The building shook again. A deep roar echoed through the chamber. Dust fell from the ceiling. The null was almost here. Ryan took a deep breath and placed his hand on the glowing sphere. The moment he touched it, the room exploded with light. Stars swirled around him. The air turned hot. The world vanished. Suddenly Ryan stood in another place, a white endless space. Quiet and still, only the sphere floated in front of him. Larger now, glowing brighter, a voice spoke, not with sound, but inside his mind, human. You carry fear, doubt, and wounds, but you also carry courage, and courage is the seed of a protector. Ryan felt his heart pound. I don't know how to fight something like the null, he whispered. You will learn, the voice said, but first, you must accept your purpose. Ryan closed his eyes. Images filled his mind. The twins laughing, the twins crying. The twins holding his hands as the hunters chased them. He remembered the fear-born trial. He remembered stepping forward even when he wanted to run. He whispered softly, I don't want to be the protector, the voice answered. No protector ever wants it, but destiny calls the ones who try to walk away. Ryan breathed in slowly. He saw the stars inside the sphere dimming. He saw the shadows of the null outside. He saw the fear on the twins' faces, and in that moment, he made a choice. A choice he never thought he would make. A choice that felt heavy but right. I accept, Ryan whispered. The sphere glowed so bright, he had to close his eyes. A wave of energy hit his chest. His arms burned. His vision filled with silver light. He felt something inside him unlock. Something powerful, something ancient. When Ryan opened his eyes again, he was back in the chamber. Lyra and Kio stared at him in awe. His body glowed faintly. His hands shone like metal warmed by a star. You awakened, Lyra gasped. You are now connected to us, Kio whispered. Ryan looked down at his glowing hands. What? Am I now? Lyra smiled, tears in her eyes. You are our protector, Kio added. And the null will fear you. But before Ryan could respond, a massive explosion shook the palace. The walls cracked. A roar filled the sky. The null had reached the city, and Ryan's first battle was about to begin. The palace shook like it was made of paper. Dust fell from the ceiling, and long cracks crawled across the crystal walls. Ryan Cole stood in the center of the Chamber of Stars, his hands still glowing with new awakened power. Lyra and Kio held onto him as the roar of the null thundered through the city like a giant storm. Ryan, Kio whispered. It is here, Lyra's voice trembled. We cannot run anymore. Ryan swallowed hard, staring at the broken doorway. He could see the sky outside, dark silent, eaten away by a massive shadow. The null, not a creature, not a ship, not a living being, but a hole in the universe, a living emptiness, a hunger that pulled light apart like threads of cloth. Ryan felt the air grow cold. Every breath became harder. His skin prickled like needles touched by winter. He wanted to turn back. He wanted to hide. He wanted to scream that this was not his job, not his destiny, but then he felt small fingers holding his hand. Lyra's Kio's two children who believed in him when he didn't believe in himself. And suddenly, fear did not feel as big anymore. Stay behind me, Ryan said. His voice was quiet, but strong enough to steady the twins. They nodded, trusting him completely. The crystal door shattered as a long tendril of shadow pushed through. It twisted like smoke, crawling along the floor. Every place it touched turned black and dead. The null whispered in their minds. A hollow voice with no warmth, no life. Starborn, give yourselves to me. Lyra stepped closer to Ryan, trembling. We cannot let it touch us. Kio nodded. If it does, the whole galaxy falls. Ryan clenched his fists. His new power hummed inside him like a second heartbeat. But he didn't know how to use it. He didn't even know what it was. The null's shadow tendril rose like a giant serpent and struck toward them. Ryan jumped forward. A bright flash burst from his hands. For a moment, the shadow recoiled. Screaming in a silent voice that only the mind could feel, Kio gasped. You heard it. Ryan stared at his glowing hands, shocked. I did? The null hissed again. Its shadow spread across the city. Buildings crumbled, crystals cracked. Guards fell to their knees as their energy drained. Lyra pulled Ryan's arm urgently. You must let us connect to you, Ryan blinked. Connect how? Kio explained quickly. Starborn cannot fight alone. Protectors cannot fight alone, but together. We become the light the null fears. Ryan looked at them. Two fragile children, the galaxy's last hope, his last chance to protect something good. He knelt in front of them. Tell me what to do. Lyra placed her small hand on his chest. Kio placed his on Ryan's back. They closed their eyes. Their glowing energy spread through Ryan like warm sunlight flowing through his veins. He felt stronger, clearer, faster, like every star in the sky burned inside him. The null screamed as the chamber filled with light. The walls shook harder. Shadows twisted wildly, trying to strike before Ryan completed the awakening. But it was too late. Ryan opened his eyes. They were no longer human brown, they glowed bright silver like the twins, filled with ancient power. A new voice echoed from his chest. His voice, but deeper, louder. "We fight together." Ryan stood tall. Lyra and Kio stood behind him. Their energy merged with his like three glowing suns sharing one pulse. Null attacked with all its shadows. They rushed like a flood of darkness, filling every corner of the palace. Ryan stepped forward. He raised his hand. A beam of pure light burst from him. Not fire, not lightning, but star energy. Ancient, wild, unbreakable. The shadows burned away. The Null howled. Its massive shape began to crack, breaking like shattered glass made of night. Ryan felt the twins push even more power into him, their hearts beating with his, their fear turning into courage, their hope turning into strength. He shouted, "For Lyra! For Kio! For the stars!" The final explosion of light tore through the sky. The Null split apart. Its shadow form dissolved. Its hunger vanished. The darkness lifted. Silence fell. Then the sky turned blue again. The floating islands glowed. The air warmed. Alindra breathed again. Alive and safe, Ryan fell to his knees, exhausted. Lyra hugged him from the left. Kio hugged him from the right. "You saved us," Lyra whispered. "You saved the galaxy," Kio added. Ryan smiled weakly. "I just kept a promise," he said. The council entered the ruined chamber, their glowing robes dimmed in respect. The elder bowed deeply. "Protector Ryan Cole." "The galaxy owes you its light." Ryan looked at the twins, their small hands in his, their glowing eyes full of trust. He whispered softly, "I was hired to escort you," Lyra smiled. "We never hired you," Kio added. "We chose you." Ryan pulled them both close. A new family, a new destiny, and the brightest protector the stars had ever known.